Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. I think it's time today to start talk about some juicy price predictions for crypto. Why now? Well, the market is looking better, and of course, we can expect a pullback. But we see right now what the market is capable of. And this is a little snippet, a little preview of what it could do in the bull market. And we can now filter out which altcoins are actually behaving quite well. So with that being said, I would like to welcome y'all to the Fomo Factory. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, feel free to subscribe to the channel, smack that like button, turn on the bell notification. And I want to warn you guys as well. I just found out I got scammed. Somebody robbed my wallet. My USDC is gone. I would like to very shortly tell you how that happened and then get into these price predictions because I don't want this to happen to you. I was stupid. Was my own fault, I guess. And that's what happening. So I looked at my my Ether scan and I saw a transaction of my USDC and I saw it was all gone. Every cent of it is gone. So yeah, I'm laughing about it, but it's like I'm not happy with it, of course. So I was like, I was thinking, like, did I made a transaction there and I couldn't figure it out, and I saw when it happened and I was like, I wasn't here then, so it wasn't me. Then I started looking. Like the wallet that received it was buying all NFTs for it. And I saw it was buying art blocks NFTs. And I have bought an art block NFT lately. So what I saw on my OpenSea is that I got a NFT drop. And it said you can claim it on their website. So, and that was artblock.tech. So I went to that website, tried to claim it, didn't work. I was like, okay, fuck it. And now it's gone. But so is the website. And I just found out that this is not the real website as well. So that was my stupid flaw. So I think the moral of this story is whenever you see you get something for free, you always have to be a little skeptical about it, of course. But also, if you connect your MetaMask wallet to any website, always check, like it asks you for some permissions, like if it can do transactions or if it can reach your USDT or USDC, you know, you can set a limit yourself to. So if you want to do a transaction there for like $20, set the limit to $20 so they cannot take more. My entire USDC is gone from my wallet. So yeah, that's kind of sad. Let's try to stay optimistic though, because you know, it sucks for now, but at the end of the day, in a couple of months, I forgot about it. And let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about a very interesting price prediction for Bitcoin, but also let's talk about some altcoins. Yesterday in the live stream, I said, for example, Seedify is not looking so good. Seedify is now doing the opposite. It finally broke this falling wedge, these white lines. It broke it. And of course, it's on the weekly and even on the daily. It is just one candle, right? So we want to know that this is not a fake out. So I cannot be like, hey, for the rest of the day. We want to see it close above it, of course. But at least if it is a fake out, it's a strong fake out, right? But now we are having trouble with this yellow line. And this yellow line basically goes all the way back to November. And I said in yesterday's live stream as well, a lot of altcoins are breaking these lines since November. Look, for example, Veracity. Look, that's what it does, right? From October, November, where it found its all-time high, we go down, get rejected, and then when we finally broke it, we fly, right? There are a lot of altcoins that are looking like that right now. I think Illuvium is one of them. Yeah, Illuvium is also one of them that goes all the way back, and it's basically in the middle of its breakout right here. I don't know what's wrong with these candles. It just like skipped this part, but looking really good. And now Seedify is basically doing the same thing. But like I said, you know, you don't want to cheer before you know that it is not a fake out, of course. And what goes hand in hand with S-Fund, of course, is FTS, which is the low cap version of Seedify, to put it like that, which is absolutely ripping. Every time I check this, the price is higher. It's now up 25% for the day. In the last, you know, well, basically 30 days, it's up more than 100%. So really looking good, making up a little bit for the money I got scammed for. So please like the video, push it into YouTube's algorithm so the audience get bigger. Maybe I make a little more money off of the channel, then would be nice. So yeah, that's for the scam and that's for Seedify. I can talk a little bit more about some juicy price predictions. Like I said in yesterday's live stream though, if you want to pull up a price prediction for a certain coin, I think you first have to have an idea of what Bitcoin is going to do, because Bitcoin is the leading coin. It's the big daddy, big pimpin' daddy, of course. So if Bitcoin doesn't do well, altcoins probably don't do well, right? Unless we are in a raging alt season where the Bitcoin dominance is going down. But the Bitcoin dominance is going up, and we are clearly in a Bitcoin season right now, which is the opposite of an altcoin season, right? So yeah, I've drawn this line, we broke that, and now it looks like we are testing it as support. And I think that Bitcoin has a lag to it. We could definitely go towards 25K in my opinion this week. But I think that the Bitcoin dominance will go up as well. And as long as the Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins do bleed against Bitcoin, right? They might go up against dollar. But if you stack Bitcoin before, you can now buy altcoins with your Bitcoin for a cheaper price. That's basically it. If we look at the total three is quite interesting. It depends a little bit on how you draw it, of course, right? We can draw it like this, and yeah, meh. But it is sitting at or against, yeah, I think like this. It's resistance, right? Bitcoin already broke this. Ethereum already broke this. The total market cap already broke this. The total too, so everything excluding Bitcoin, already broke this. And now it looks like altcoins are trying to break it. Will it work? We don't know until it happens. But, you know, if everything is breaking it step by step, I have high hopes for altcoin at the moment. The S&P is very important, of course. Because this is leading, and basically since, well, last year, January, we are in this downward trend. We got a perfect rejection, and now we are here. Benjamin Cohen pointed out that all these rejections happened on a Tuesday, which is very funny. It's Tuesday today, so maybe we'll see a rejection today. I don't know. But 1, 2, 3, 4 times we reached this line. We got rejected. So I wouldn't get my hopes up too much for the S&P. But yeah, with that being said, I don't know. Let's talk about a Bitcoin price prediction. And as some of you guys know, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin in the long term. I think everybody in crypto is, of course. But if you hear my price prediction, you might be like, huh? But it will make a lot of sense. And as soon as that makes sense, we can also talk about altcoin price predictions, and they will make a lot more sense by then as well, of course, right? So there are a couple of indicators that point out, you know, kind of the same thing when it comes to Bitcoin. The first one is a logarithmic regression band. If you look at Bitcoin, this is what it did since the beginning, right? The lower band is the green band, and the higher band, the upper band, is the red band, right? In a bull market, we always get near or we get to the upper band, right? That's always what happens. It happened here in 2011. We were here, we were very much in it, even at the top of it in 2013. We were here in 2018, 17, 18, right? We were in the middle of it, and we were pretty close to it. Well, we got there basically in the last bull run as well. In a bear market, we always get to the lower band, to the green band, right? And we stay there for a long time. Doesn't mean Bitcoin goes sideways because the band is moving up, but we stay there for years so far, right? We went down here in October 2011, and we got out of it in February 2013. Here, we went even longer in it. We went into it in January 2015, and we got out of it in May 2017. So we were here for 2.5 years. Now we are here as well, and we got in it in May 2022. Could it be that we in 2024 still be here? Definitely possible. But then the lower band is already 40 up till 80K, right? So Bitcoin can still move up as we are here. So based on the entire history, that's what happens, right? And like I said, in every bull market, Bitcoin gets to or near the top as well. Where is the top? At the peak of the next bull run? Well, we first have to know when the peak of the next bull run is, and nobody knows. But so far, the 4-year cycle is still intact, and that would point out sorry, that Bitcoin will be reach its all-time high at around end of 2025, right? So let's say December 2025. Where's the red band in 2025, December? Let's take a look. The red band, the lower red band is $312,000. Depends, that's January, $300,000. The upper red band is $450,000-$60,000. And it sounds like a lot. It sounds like we will never get there. But you have to remember that if you look at this chart, if we don't get there, it will be the first time in history, right? So it's only making sense that we get there. And that's what I said before, like, okay, Bitcoin could reach around $300,000-$400,000 in the next bull run. Then I got another indicator, and that's this parallel channel right here. Let me put this on the weekly. You see that, and this is not the chart that takes it most back since 2017, so 6 years. But you see that Bitcoin is in this parallel channel since then, right? And we get to the upper band, we get to the lower band, we get to the upper band, we get to the lower band. And what's so funny about the last dip that we had, we bounced perfectly, like really perfect. We got a little fake out, but we bounced perfectly off of it. Like, it's beautiful. It couldn't have been done better, really. We bounced since October, and in January, Bitcoin thought, okay, let's get out of here. Great, great, great. So as you see, but you know what's funny, if you zoom out, right, we are still near the bottom of it, right? We are not nearly to the top of it, right? So this is the channel that Bitcoin has been in since the last 6 years, right? So at least in this chart, if I pull up the BLX, it goes down even way further, but that's for another, that's for the next analytic. So what does this chart tell you? Well, if we just stay in this channel, right, and you can say like, yeah, no, but we're going to break out. Like, if you have to erase the complete history of Bitcoin on every chart, then you cannot make a prediction as well, right? I mean, no history, no future. So let's go with the history so far. So if we stay in this band, what's the worst case scenario for Bitcoin at the end of 2025? The worst case scenario in December 2025 will be $57,000. But Bitcoin is only at the lower side of this parallel channel in a bear market, right? And we expect the bull market by then. What's the upper side of that channel? The upper side of that channel in December 2025 is $430,000. Exactly the same as the chart that we just saw, right? So it lines up, because you do not want to take a look at one single chart and be like, oh, this is what it says, so this is what it's going to do. That's bullshit. But the more charts telling the same thing, then you must be like, okay, it's definitely worth to consider at least, right? So another thing that I put a lot of work in, well, a lot of work, not really, but you know, that I checked out is this. These are the cycles for Bitcoin so far, right? What's quite funny, here Bitcoin just existed, so we can take the price from 0 to $30, and it's still, I don't know how many X, so we don't count that. But the first time Bitcoin retraced, found its bottom and went to the top, Bitcoin did 130X, all right? After that, and you know, this was like, this and this are not really two complete different cycles, of course. Then again, it's the first cycle, so it's like, of course, a little different. And if we want to see this as one cycle, Bitcoin did around a 500x, right? But if we see it as two different cycles, then this one is 130x, found its bottom right here in 2013, went up another 17x, all right? Then in 2017, Bitcoin found its bottom at around $160, went all the way up to around $20,000. Bitcoin did 120x. After that, we got our last cycle, where Bitcoin went to around $3,300 and went to $70, which was, I don't know why it says 20%, but that's actually a 23x. So if we calculate the average that Bitcoin always does from the bottom of cycle 1 to the top of cycle 2, Bitcoin does a 70x on average. 70x. Right? And it now sounds also like, if I'm going to tell you that Bitcoin can now do a 70x, people still be like, you crazy. I'm just pointing out the averages, what it did so far. And I get the counter argument that you could say, but yeah, there are diminishing returns, right? There's going to be more money in crypto, more liquidity, so the moves are going to be less big. Definitely true, definitely true. On the other hand, so far, that's not really what played out, right? I mean, the best cycle was the first cycle, definitely. But the worst cycle was this right here. And then the second best cycle was the second last cycle. And then the cycle that did average, right, in between, was our last cycle. So it's not getting less. So, you know, based on this, of course, we will have diminishing returns one day. But will that be the next cycle for the first time? Or can we still do something else? I like to be open-minded about that. So I've calculated a couple of things that Bitcoin could do. Like what if it does its worst cycle? What if it has its best cycle or average or a half of average, right? Then we can get an idea. So this is all based on the fact that Bitcoin has found its bottom, right? We don't know if that's the case. I'm starting to think it did. But if not, then the returns will be a little smaller. Because if Bitcoin does go to 12K and we do a 10X, then we go, for example, to 120,000 instead of 150,000, right? So keep that in mind. But what if Bitcoin has its worst cycle so far? So, you know, right here, we had a 17x, give or take. What if it does another 17x, right? The worst cycle so far. It would put Bitcoin at $270,000. That's kind of my worst case scenario right here. So that's my bearish target, right? What if Bitcoin does half of the average move, right? So not even average, half of it, which is still pretty bearish though. That would put Bitcoin at $540,000. What if Bitcoin has its average move? So it's not doing better than any other bull market. It's not doing worse, just average. That would put Bitcoin at $1 million. And what if Bitcoin will have its best cycle, so another 130x, would put Bitcoin at $2 million. Now, this is a little, I'm repeating a little bit what I did in the live stream yesterday, but this is something we need to know, right? And I will get to altcoins. But first, we have to get an idea of what Bitcoin can do, of course. So I don't expect Bitcoin to have another 130x just because I don't want to hope for something like that just because it happened before. It can happen. It's possible. Everybody that says that this is not possible, you know, it is possible. I don't think the chance is very likely, though. So is it possible that Bitcoin will do average? It's possible, but I don't want to get my hopes up. On the other hand, will Bitcoin have its worst cycle so far? You know, all these things are possible, by the way. So also, Bitcoin could have its worst cycle. It could even do worse than its worst cycle so far. It could just do a 10x. But you know, we're talking about averages right here. So I think that this is a little too less. I'm going to go with around this. Half of average. Sorry, I'm having a cold again. It's never going away. So I like to expect around this, right? And be a little less bullish maybe. So this is $550,000. You know, what if we take, you know, the average of this and this? That all, you know, that sounds pretty realistic to me. That at least that's way more realistic than what we have already seen, right? So, and that happened because we already seen that. And this is way more realistic. So, yeah, 300, 400K lines up perfectly with the other two charts that we just saw, right? I think that's definitely possible. And just a fundamental thing to back it up as well. We had a very good run in 2016, 17, 18, right? A very good run. But not a lot of retail was in crypto back then, right? I knew about crypto. I was in crypto, but most of my friends weren't. My father never basically heard of it. Maybe he heard of it once. At least now, everybody knows about crypto, right? So I think that once Bitcoin will blast through 100K, everybody and their grandmother be like, whoa, okay, maybe I have to take this seriously and buy some Bitcoin or at least crypto, right? And that's where the retail FOMO is in. And that's what gets Bitcoin way higher than that 100K. So that's my general expectation. The video will take a little longer than usual, sorry, but you know, I think that this is something you need to know, because if you are in crypto and you struggle with, oh, 22K, should I sell, should I buy? If you have the expectation that it could go to 300K, puts it a little in perspective, and then 20K, 21K, you know, tomato, doesn't matter really that much, right? Also, if I look at the USDT dominance, which just broke down out of this trend right here, but you know, still, if you zoom out, it's still very high. So many people are ready to deploy, right? So if this gets down again because we get into a bull market, then I absolutely think we could see a very big run for crypto. A lot of people having money on the sideline. It's not cashed out to their bank account or anything. It's in USDT, right? Again, ready to deploy. So pretty interesting. So yeah, then let's talk about a couple of altcoins, right? And put your requests in the comment. I'll go over that in the next video. I cannot go over it all right now, so I'm gonna just go over some altcoins that I find pretty interesting. Somebody in the live stream asked, like, could Gala go to $2.50? And how unrealistic it may sound right now, I think it's not impossible, because Gala, you have to remember, it was at 80 cents in the last bull run, right? 80 cents. Back when it had way less good products out, less hype. This was just the result of a bull run, not the result of Gala necessarily, right? Now Gala is working, it has some good eyes on it. I think crypto gaming in general is going to be way bigger. And besides that, I think there's more money coming into crypto, of course, in the next run. So, you know, will it outperform its all-time high by a 4x? Yeah, you know, it's not going to be easy, definitely not, and we will have a long way to go, but I'm not saying that it can't happen though. So when it comes to Gala, I won't be surprised to see around a $2-3 Gala in the next bull run at the top. You know, maybe I will be completely off about this, but I don't know if this is what did the last bull run. You know, crypto often surprises you, right? And I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm not surprised anymore by all these kind of things. Seedify, again, talking about Seedify. If Seedify goes back to its all-time high, it will be around $7, because there are now more tokens in circulation, maybe even $6 or $5 by that time, because a lot of tokens are still getting vested by staking, but that's now getting ended. Almost all the staking pools are closed, so Seedify is getting pretty much non-inflationary. So that's some good news. Seedify has some good releases on the plans. In the bull market, projects are going to release. They just announced that they are going to release AI projects as well, so not just gaming and metaverse, but also AI. And I think that's a smart move, because yes, it's now a big hype, but I think AI is going to be way more than just a hype. And if Seedify, you know, it's already the leading launchpad, so if they're going to jump on that niche as well, I don't know. I think Seedify could really surprise us. The previous all-time high was a $350 million market cap. Surpassed that by 3x easy, in my opinion. So that's $1 billion. That's 20 times as high as where we are right now. So that's around $20. Is that possible for Seedify? Yes, in my opinion, Seedify could do a 20x at the top of the next crypto bull run. Maybe even more, but I'm being quite cautious when I say that. So yeah, definitely could. Fomotion is looking quite interesting. If I take this chart, you'll see it quite better, because Fomotion's long-term play, yeah, it's going to rock. It's going to rock. Fomotion is building way too hard in this bear market to not blow up. It just broke out of this trend right here, but it's still ranging between two 260. Sorry, I'm having the hiccup. Now I'm fucking up this whole live stream. Sorry, it's ranging between 260 and 440, give or take. It's now kind of at the top of the range. Could it fake out all the way to $5? Definitely, it happened before, right? We want to really see it break out and confirm. But you know, all these things that I'm saying right now, it doesn't mean that I think that it's going to do this right now, right? I expect some altcoins maybe to have a little breakout and go back and have their last accumulation period before they really break out, especially when you look at the Bitcoin pairs, because altcoins are just bleeding against Bitcoin. You can see it right here as well. Yeah, although we have the Bitcoin charts right here, by the way. Ofcourse is in this perfect trend right here. And it's still ranging, right? So although in the price, it really came up a lot lately, when you look at the Bitcoin value, it really didn't do anything else. It's even quite strong because most altcoins are going down against their Bitcoin value because the Bitcoin dominance is going up, right? I mean, if you take a look at Cardano, for example, Cardano is only going down, had one small pump between all these red candles right here, but basically it's only going down. Just made a lower low a couple of weeks ago, right? And a lot of altcoins look like that. Therefore I said, like, okay, maybe better to accumulate Bitcoin. One thing too, for the people interested, to go back to really quick to Seedify, as I don't have the Bitcoin chart on TradingView. It is here. Seedify is 434 Satoshis, went up a little bit now, but it was 420 and it's lower than it was right here. So it's basically not sitting at any support, right? If you look at my cursor, this trend line where it is, if you look here, there's nothing. There's really nothing. So I must say that Seedify is really on a critical level right here. On the other hand, it has a lot of room to go up. I think this level is pretty interesting for Seedify, and that's around 600 Satoshi. So that's a 30% pump, give or take. So yeah, could get really interesting. A lot of people are talking about Matic. I must say, like, some people on Twitter are like, Matic is going to skyrocket. I don't know. Because the thing with Matic is, yeah, it has great partnerships and it's super strong in its bear market. So Matic will do fantastic in the next bull run, definitely. But it's just like, it's already so high cap right now. So for everybody expecting Matic to do 100x, you can forget it. I can already tell you that, right? On the other hand, if we look in December 2021, where everything was near its peak, sorry, this is already too far. Oh shit, it was November, of course. Well, around here, right? If you look like a lot of coins here were 15, 20, the top 10 was like $40 billion market cap. But Matic is just like 2 up till 4x away from that, right? And of course, these numbers will be higher in the next bull run, but can Matic do a 5x? Yeah, definitely. I think so. But from there, it's going to be really hard for it, I think. So, yeah, that's one thing that I would like to point out if you ask me. And for the rest, yeah, Matic is doing good. Matic is doing good. It was ranging right here. It's now looks like it's broken out. But yeah, you can also say that this is the range, of course. And in that case, Matic is still ranging. I think this is more realistic though. What else might be interesting? Phantom. I like Phantom a lot. I don't know what's wrong with TradingView, but Phantom is it broke out from what I've seen. It did break out, unless you draw it like it still broke out, of course. So Phantom is really strong, doing good. I think that 50 cents Phantom, maybe 60 cents Phantom is on the table. And I think it all depends. The chart that you should most look at instead of these separate altcoins is the total tree. Total tree is just the most important chart right here. We have to break this trend line. And also it depends how I draw this, because I can also draw it like this, right? Still makes sense. And then we haven't broke out. We want to see a clear breakout. Stochastic RSI is getting a little overheated. So yeah, I expect a pullback. Can we first break out, get the pullback, retest this level right here, and then move up again? We have to see. I'm keeping close track of it, so that's why I want to wrap it up. Video takes way longer than I intended, but I think it's pretty interesting. Let me know if you like the video. If you do like the video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, feel free, be a part of the gang. We are on the way to 8,000 subscribers. Thank you guys very much, and have a very lovely day.